presentation?
Yes. Yes, we certainly can. Please turn your cameras off so that only Ms. Delbia and myself are showing, because otherwise we will cover the whole screen. Thank you very much. Just to introduce myself, I'm the consultant who's working with the school. I teach history and geography to year 10 currently, and from next year it'll be environmental management as well. I've got many arrows to my bow, so that will be another one that comes under there. But I have been teaching for more than 48 years now, and a lot of my career has been in Britain. I was a chief examiner as well for geography, and for about 10 years I was an examiner for history as well. So when it comes to GCSEs, there is a lot that you need to know, and of course many of you are coming to this for the first time. So this is an introductory session today. Later on, hopefully before the end of term, we will also do some other webinars, some Zoom webinars for you as well, that talk to you about some of the other aspects of, you know, how do you study, how to get the ideas through, etc. Because it's a very, very important part of your child's education. Okay. Right, Ms. Delbia, do you want to go on?
Just we want to tell all the parents, we have individual license to conduct all these examinations, and we are approved center from 2004. We are conducting all the examinations in our school. Ms. Judith, can you go to next slide?
Certainly.
So first of all, I want to tell you what is IGCSE. IGCSE, this is stands for I International, G General, and C Certificate, E Education.
Excuse me a moment, Ms. Delbia. It's very important that you have your microphones on mute, please. We don't want to have 2 or more people speaking during the presentation. Thank you. Okay, keep going.
So this IGCSE. Ms. Judith, it's better if you can mute all the parents. Is it?
Yes, there are. I'm still admitting people at the moment. Right, could you please mute whoever is talking in the background? Could you please turn your microphone off? Thank you. Excuse me? Who have we got? Okay, I think they've got the picture now, so hopefully, right, let's keep going.
So this IGCSE, this is a 2 years program. We start from year 10 and we complete in year 11, sorry. This is 2 years program, year 10 and year 11. So year 10, student, they will select their subjects. We will teach them this program within 2 years, and end of year 11, we will conduct the final examination. So this IGCSE program, can you mute all the parents?
Right, I think this person has got the idea, but they keep coming back in. That's the problem. Okay, so most people have got it, but the gentleman who keeps speaking, please don't do that, because we will just stop and you'll be here very late. Okay, thank you. Let's keep going.
Yeah, this, as I told you, this is 2 years program. It starts from year 10 and we complete this program in year 11. This is very popular qualification. It starts for age year 14 to year 16 student, and IGCSE Cambridge, they are providing more than 160 countries, and the 70 subjects are available for this. IGCSE, this is equivalent to GCSE in UK. Ms. Judith, can you go to next slide, please?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, for you.
Okay. Okay.
This is for you, Ms. Judith.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry about that. Right. Okay. Now, I'm very pleased to see that the words hard and work come in here. Now, I've been around for a long time. I'm coming up for the end of my 7th decade, but I can tell you a message that my father, rest his soul, made very clear to me when I was young, and particularly when I was at the same stage that the Year 9s are now. If something is worth doing, it is worth doing well. And if you have to work hard for something, the sense of achievement will be so much better at the end. Life is not going to be a set of easy hurdles to jump. And of course, parents, we all know those lessons for our time on earth, but young people, maybe they don't know that yet. So GCSEs are not easy, but then nothing in any curriculum is, and it doesn't matter whether it's American, Indian, or anything else. All these subjects at this level are now getting beyond the ability to do them with just one eye open. So it's a really important phase that you have to think about making your choices for the subjects you're going to study. And there are certain things that you need to consider. First of all, what subjects do you like doing? What are your favorite subjects? Not your favorite teacher. That's not important, you know. Teachers come and go. But your love of your subject or a love of a subject might be something that would think, I really want to do that. What are you good at? Right? What are you really good at? Now, there will be some subjects like history, geography, maybe, although you've had a taster this year of those. Maybe psychology, you have never heard of them before and you don't know whether or not you'd be good at them. But if you're a hardworking student who gets really good marks, really you can try almost anything, but you do have to have an interest in it. If you're not interested in a subject, oh my goodness, no, it will be awful. For me, when I was at school, that was economics. I did it for 3 weeks and oh dear, no, I hated it. I changed it and took Japanese instead and I loved it. I loved it. I studied it for 1 year. I don't remember it now. So what do I need for future A-level choices? So you need to be, it's 2 years now, and you might think, well, you know, another 2 years down the line is a very long time and you don't really need to think about those things. But if, for example, you want to do a medical course and you don't take the sciences for your GCSEs, then you're going to have a lot of trouble when it comes to do the advanced supplementary, that's AS and A level, because you won't have the foundation. They kind of follow on one from the other. There are a few subjects you can pick up new at AS level. Geography is one of them, but most of the subjects you require 2 years of GCSE before you start the higher level things later on in this very senior school. So the other and the most important thing is to keep a balance of subjects. Now you might think you know what you want to be now, but I'll tell you just 2 things that have been relayed to me from the person who is the CEO at ADNOC in Abu Dhabi, Abu Dhabi National Oil Corporation, or the guys who have the petrol, in other words. He has 3 sons. They all did engineering degrees because he thought that would be a good field for them to get into. Now they have finished their degrees, there is not enough work for them. And so 2 of his sons will be going to study in my country, in New Zealand, to do their masters, and they're staying on to do their doctorate. So they will be away for probably about 8 years, which means that he will probably never see them back here again. And his other son did not want to leave the UAE, and he is earning 6,000 dirhams a month. He's taken any job he could. So many of the engineering courses have been withdrawn in universities because they've got too many engineers. Last year, as well as that, Khalifa University in Abu Dhabi has a medical school, and it cancelled all the courses 1 month before they were due to start. Why? Oversupply. So you have to be really careful that if you think I'm going to be a doctor, and that's what you think you're going to be now, the doctor you think you might be going to be might be something entirely different. It might be entirely different. So you need to keep your options broad now, and later on, when you have a bit more of a concrete, a definite idea of what you want to be, before you go to university, that's when you really think about what subjects am I going to need. Because there are lots of careers that are coming online now that were not around when I first started. Everything to do with computers and everything to do with AI, all of those things are actually now part of the mix for careers. And it's very important that you do not narrow your options right at the very beginning of the selection of the course. Okay, let us move on. Right, Estelle Beer.
Yes, dear. As Miss Judith, she mentioned, you have to keep your options broad. Rosary School offering 15 subjects. So subject list is here. We are offering mathematics, all sciences, along bio, physics, chemistry, business, economics, ICT, Arabic as a first language. English, we are offering second language. French is very new subject. We are offering also French. Environmental management, history, geography, psychology from the Edexcel board. So before we are giving environmental management, we don't have a tutor, unfortunately. But this year, Ms. Judith, she will also provide the classes for the environmental management. So out these 15 subjects, you can make the choices. Next slide, we will mention how you can select your subjects. Along with this, we have ministry subjects. These are mandatory for all the students. Arabic, Islamic study, social study, moral education, and physical education. These subjects, all the students, they have to take. Islamic study only for the Muslim student. Ms. Judith, can you move to next slide?
Yes, in case you're wondering how I can teach environmental management, I have a master's degree in oceanography and earth science, which is kind of geology, and a lot of the courses related to that, and geography is very closely related to environmental management as well. So if you do geography and environmental management, there will be some areas that are common in both those subjects. And it's an interesting area.
As we mentioned, a number of subjects here. So IGCSE, this is compulsory English, math, and ICT. Compulsory for all the students. All students, they have to take English as a second language, maths, and ICT. Along with these, they have to take the ministry subjects. Ms. Judith.
Yes.
Yeah, next slide, please.
Okay, so these are going to be your options. Now, you don't choose to do English, maths, and IT. They're already in there. Why are they in there? The ministry requirement is you have to have English and maths, and you're not going to get very far without them anyway. All right, so English and mathematics must be in there. Why IT? Because IT is going to be how you function. By the time you get to do the examinations, some of them will be done on computer. And this is not just talking about IT exams. Already this year, some of the exam boards will be doing the examination directly onto a computer. No paper is involved. And certainly within the next 3 to 4 years, almost all the exam boards, including Cambridge, will be moving in that direction for efficiency purposes, apart from anything else. So these are the subjects that you need to choose. So you will have, first of all, a choice of either Block A or Block B. That means you cannot do biology and economics, all right? Not possible. And you probably wouldn't want to anyway. So if you want to, you do Block A, which is biology and chemistry. You will do both those subjects. Now, if you're not a scientist, and I wasn't when I was in school, I might have chosen business studies and economics. So you choose either all of option A or all of option B, but not.
Yeah, there's also, let me hear.
Sorry, stop talking, please. And then you need to choose one subject from each of the sets of C, D, and E. So you either, in C, you can either choose physics, and if you want to do all three sciences, you would choose Block A and physics from Block C. Or if you don't want to do physics, you can choose first language Arabic or French foreign language. Now, that is not first language French. It is French foreign language. It is not difficult to do. It's no more difficult than the English as a second language. So having a second or additional language is actually, employers quite like that, even though you may not speak it fluently forever. It's nice to have another language. So you will either choose one of those three. Now, in Block D, we have history or environmental management. History or environmental management. Now, if you are totally hooked on the sciences, you could do Block A, physics in Block C, and environmental management in Block D. All right, you'd have to really love science to do it, though. In Block E, geography and psychology, which is EdXL board, not Cambridge. It doesn't matter, they're the same level. Geography and psychology are in Block E. So you choose either A or B, plus one from C, one from D, one from E. Now, there are lots of subjects that you can, and combinations that you can do in there, lots of subject options. So it's really important that you have a good think about them. So it's what you like doing, what are your interests about? So if you're, for example, you think you might want to be a vet, all right, you might want to be, well, you need biology, you probably need chemistry. Can we mute? Thank you. And you would possibly need environmental management as well, because a lot of what happens to animals happens as a result of what we're doing to the environment. So you need to think carefully. You need to think very carefully about what it is that you are interested in. But please, several things. Do not choose subjects on the basis of the teacher who takes them. Do not choose just because your friends are doing them. All right, so it is not getting together and go, what are we doing? Please mute. Thank you. So please do not choose on the basis of what your friends are doing. Why? 10 years from now, it is very unlikely those friends will be anywhere near you. You will have gone off in different directions, different universities, different colleges, everything about your life will be different. Very few of us ever meet up with the people that we went to school with. Very few. And so if we choose on the basis of what our friends like, are our friends going to be doing the exam with us? No. Are our friends going to be studying with us? Possibly. But will they be taking the same direction as us in life? Highly, highly unlikely. So you have to think for yourself about what you actually want to do. You have break times, you have before school, you have after school. School, you know, when you're doing academic subjects, they're not social things. They're actually there to get you a qualification. And qualification and friendliness is not one of the things that's on the list of subjects yet. So we don't have that. So think carefully about what it is you're choosing. And it's very important because we are doing this earlier than we've done it before, so we can set the timetable. We will set the timetable. And I really hope that the timetable is done before the end of this term. It's all set and done. We come back in September, you're given a copy of your timetable and away we go. We're not messing around chopping and changing. So this is what Rosary School is offering you: English, Maths, IT, and your choice of A or B, plus one from C, D, or E. This is what we are offering. So please do not look at Dubai English Speaking School. We've got many hundreds more of students, and so they can offer more subjects of a different sort. This is what we're offering, and you're very lucky because last year many more subjects were added to the mix. History and geography and psychology were all added to the mix last year, and we have added French and environmental management as now a taught subject. Now, what grades can you actually get at GCSE? In England, C grade and above is what you require. That's the C grade, and a D and below is not regarded as a pass. In the UAE, the Ministry of Education will give equivalency at grade E. They regard E as a pass. There are grades below that. You are not aiming for them. And the school will do everything in its power to make sure that you do not get grades lower than an E. You will also have target grades that you should have from the beginning of year 10. You will have target grades set by the cognitive achievement test, those CAT tests you do on non-verbal reasoning and things. They will set a target grade for you. But if you don't take those seriously, you can get some very low predicted grades. And then I've got one girl doing history at the moment who's got shockingly low predicted grades, but she's an A student, an A-star student. So take those CAT tests very seriously, but there is the full range. Now, can you get an A-star? How easy is it to get an A-star? You've got to be really very bright, very studious all the way through the course. You do everything your teacher tells you to do. You are learning the material as you're going through. If you're a student who waits until a night or two before the exam and you suddenly try and cram it all in, that is highly unlikely to get you an A-star. You simply remembering it only for short term. So that will be the subject of the next webinar, which is talking to you and your parents about how you can maximize the chances of getting the higher grades, because it's not impossible to do, but it requires constant, consistent hard work. Okay, Ms. Delbia?
These are very important points. As we mentioned in the starting, IGC, this is a 2 years program. It will start in year 10 and it will be end in year 11. As you will select your subject in year 10, we mentioned a list of subjects. You will select 7 subjects from there. You will carry forward these subjects till year 11. So from the ministry side, for the equivalency of your certificate, 5 IGCSE subject compulsory for all the students to promote you for the next level. Your result should be, your grade should be till E grade. So maths and English, these subjects must be out of those 5 subjects. So all students, they will carry in year 11 minimum 5 subjects. As we know, some of our students, like mostly Egyptian students, they need more than 5 subjects. They can take 6 subjects, 7 subjects, or 8 subjects, which is available in the Rosary School. So all the students, it's compulsory for them, at least they can take minimum 5 subjects for IGCSE.
Just a word of warning on that one. The ministry will only attest your GCSEs if you have 5. And 2 of those must be English and mathematics. Now, on the law of averages, if I do not see the examination until I am sitting at the desk about to do it, and somebody comes in with plastic wallets with the exam papers, the teacher has not seen the paper. The person opening the paper, the packets has not seen them. Nobody is allowed to see them. They are cut open and you see the exam paper for the first time. Your teacher is not allowed to be in the room. Your teacher is not allowed, under exam board rules of any of the boards, to see the paper for at least 2 hours after it has finished. And that is because some students have clashes and they have to extend time. So if it was me and I knew that it was going to be an exam paper that I didn't exactly know what questions were going to be in it, but I've been taught the syllabus, so I can do it, I would be doing more than 5. I would be doing more than 5, because on the law of averages, if you take, say, I was principal in a school in London, the kids used to do 10, and their average was 8 A star to C. All right, that was 8 A star to C. These were ordinary kids, and some of them from very, very poor homes, but they worked tremendously hard. So if there were 2 they failed, imagine if I had only limited them to doing 5 and they had failed 2. There's a problem. So be careful when you say, I'm only going to do 5 subjects. I'm only going to do those. Because when you say you're only going to do that, remember the words hard and work come into it. These things are not impossible to do. Otherwise, they would not have been around since 1988. Very long time they've been around. They are very, very successful. But there is something else you need to be aware of as well. And that is, there was an article in one of the British newspapers yesterday that was talking about the effects of the pandemic. You missed 2 years of schooling. And that is going to impact on your GCSEs. It will, but it's not impossible, because last year when they came back to do the exams again, many children here in the UAE got far higher grades than they expected to. And that happened because they did exactly what the school told them they needed to do, and they worked very hard. So if you have that idea, then you will be fine. But if you just want an easy life, we are not going to have students who are not in classrooms studying this year. There's not going to be free time for people. And this is why we need you to do, if you can do 8 subjects, and I think, well, I know you well enough now, I think you certainly can do 8 subjects, then there is no reason why you should not do all 8 that you can do. Gives you a far better option choice when it comes to do AS level. Now, this one is just a very brief one about, when the exams are carried out. So basically, your examinations will be in 2026. I know it sounds like a long way off, and they're done in May through June. You register before then, because there are thousands of children around the world who do subjects. And so the Cambridge Exam Board, or EdXL for psychology, it's a very big job, very, very big job to put it all together. So the written examinations are May and June. If you're going to choose a subject like geography or history, then 27% of the course is made up of coursework. And at the moment, the year 10 geographers are about to go to the beach on the East Coast, where they're going to do some studies on coastal erosion, which I'm sure has happened in the last 2 weeks. So they will be looking at that and what people can do to protect their coastlines against loss of land. So history also has 27%, but very few subjects now have coursework, very few. They just rely everything on the examination. Now, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. They have to have markers. The exam papers are sent off to Britain, by the way. They're not marked by your teachers. They're not even marked by anybody here. They go off to Britain. They're farmed off around the world to people who mark them there. And the results after lots of checks, come back around about the middle of August, around about that time. But the certificates themselves come out in mid-October because there are lots of checks. When you get your results, you might go, oh, I'm 2 marks away from an A grade and I really want the A grade, so you go for a remark. There's lots of things that can happen. Now, there are also retakes of some examinations, but not all of them, and they take place in November and October and November. Now, this year, what will actually happen is only in the languages. That will be first language Arabic, and in English will there be a retake in November, October, November. All other subjects, including mathematics, if you get a grade which is below an E, then you will have to wait until the following summer to retake the examination. The reason for that is what happens is that students will take time off to study for those examinations in October and November, and they are not giving due consideration to the new course, the advanced level supplementary AS level that they've started, and that is a big jump up in difficulty. They give themselves about a term to prepare what should have taken them 2 and a bit terms to get ready for. So it is not going to happen. It'll only be in English, second language English, and in first language Arabic that will actually happen. Everything else, you'll be waiting till the following summer. Now, if you want to know more, the first thing is I've prepared a very comprehensive options booklet for you, and it was going to be on School Voice. I think, Ms. Delby, it's going up on the website, isn't it?
Yeah,
right. It's going on the website, and that is because not all of you have access to School Voice. That's something we're going to do something about, but not right at the moment. So the booklet will go up on the school's website. If you want to know more about a subject, so if, for example, you want to know more about history, I really hope we're there next week. I'm going stir crazy sitting here in my apartment in Dubai looking at glass and buildings. And you can come and talk to me about it. So history, geography, environmental management, you can come and talk to me about it. If you want to know more about psychology, you go and talk to Miss Stella. She teaches that at the moment. So if you want to know more about business studies and economics, you talk to Miss Percival or any of the science teachers. So find out what you don't know. Don't go to your mates and say, look, I don't know about it. What do you think? Go and find out from the people who have the experience and know what the subject is about. But don't leave out your parents, all right? Talk to your parents and people you know who've actually studied the subject. So it could be somebody in another school who, say, has studied history for GCSE. Talk to them about, whether they enjoyed it and what sort of things they actually did, and what the syllabus was about. So if you want to know something, please do not guess, and please do not just refer to your friends and go, what do you think? Because you need to go to the people who've experienced, to know what it's about. Now, sharp deadline time. The forms, there will be a link given on the website for you to download the form. It's very simple to complete. So you tick either box A or box B, not both of them, please. No, we're not talking about the American voting system, just tick everything. So it's not like that. And you will tick one subject from each of block C, one from D, one from E. Don't leave things out, because otherwise that will delay it. We will have to come back to you. You'll have to make the decision on the spot. We're not going to make decisions for you, right? We're not going to tell you which subjects to do. We can advise, but we're not telling you. So we would like those forms to be brought back to school, please, or sent back to school on Thursday, the 2nd of May. So that gives you 1 week from today. Let's make it 3 o'clock in the afternoon, please, not 11 o'clock at night. Nobody's there then. All right. So 3 o'clock on Thursday, the 2nd of May, we would like the options forms to be returned. Now, if you have any questions, this is Miss Delbeer's email address. You should email her. She may ask somebody like myself or ask one of the subject teachers. or come and see us in person. It will actually make it much easier for you. All right. Now, I'm not handing out my email address because, you know, I use my email for lots of things. I'm not just attached to the school, so I don't, you know, want to end up with an inbox of emails that take away from all the other things that I'm doing. Okay, so there aren't going to be any questions and answers this afternoon because for some of you, this is new. This is new information. So the first place is to look on the website at the options booklet. It'll tell you all about every subject, the kind of material that is in it. It also gives you information on what careers and things might actually come out as a result of studying those subjects. So there's lots and lots of information on there, but it is an individual decision. I must stress that. It worries me, and I have had kids in the past who have looked at it and said, well, I'm only choosing that, you know, I'm only choosing art or music because that teacher is teaching it. They come back in September and you can't tie the teachers to the school. The teacher has decided that they want to take a promotion and they've gone off to another school. So, you know, then what do? They end up they do the subject. It doesn't matter, you know, the teachers teach well is important than who's standing in front of you. But also, friendships don't always last either. So you might, if you choose with your friends and then 6 months down the line they're not your friends anymore, well, you've kind of not done the right thing. So you may be an individual, talk about it with people who know, discuss your choices with your parents, and you and your parents both need to sign the options form. Why you? Because it is your commitment to work hard. It's your commitment. And your parents, because your parents need to know what you're doing. Okay. Right. So, Ms. Delbia, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just I want to tell you, Ms. Judith, we are going to attach a link with this presentation and we will post on the school website. So all the students, they can click on that link and they will find the option form. They can fill it and they can send back to us till 2nd of May.
All right.
So today evening we will post, today evening or tomorrow morning you will get this presentation on the school website. If you have any query, you want to know something, directly you can communicate with me, you can send me a mail, but with the appointment. So please, if you want to see any teachers also, please take a prior appointment, please.
Yeah, don't go into their classroom. Don't go into their classroom and just, you know, I want to speak to you now. No questions at the moment, I'm sorry. We don't have time for those. So if you have a question, can you please email this email address and you will get an answer to it as quickly as is possible to give that to you. And please, one more plea from me, please get on with this process, all right? Please make this a priority. Don't wait until Thursday to look at the options booklet. So download it. I think it might already be there, or Ms. Dalbia said it'll be up there a maximum of tomorrow morning. So please make sure that you look at it, you read it thoroughly, you get the information. There's a lot of information in there, please believe me, there is a lot of information about each subject. If you still want to know more, you go to the teacher, and there shouldn't need to be any other source really that you go to, because the teacher will have taught the subject and knows what is involved with it. And can give you some ideas about anything that you might need to do, for example, the coursework for history and geography. But apart from that, you know, there are lots of sources of information. You can even go onto YouTube to look at certain subjects. You know, why is geography a good subject to do? Why is psychology a good subject to do? So there's masses of resources out there, but you need to crack on with it. So we can have all the forms back by next Thursday, the 2nd of May at 3 p.m. Thank you very much indeed. Have a lovely weekend. And hopefully you've not sitting in the middle of you're not an island in the middle of a lake still. I know that in Sharjah they're working very, very hard to clear the streets of water. But do be careful with drinking water as well. There's been a notice from the authorities about, using bottled water until that situation is sorted out properly. But we just have to hope that we're not going to go through this situation too many times, because 2 weeks out of school is 2 weeks far too many. I'm sorry. Okay, so have a lovely weekend, everyone, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Judith.
Thank you.